Soft, melancholic piano music begins. A slightly breathy, introspective voice begins to speak, with a hint of a faint Eastern European accent. Honestly, it feels almost vulgar, doesn't it? To even talk about a place that surrendered itself so utterly to mediocrity. You see, my grandmother Babushka, we called her, she used to say, "Darling, a chipped teacup isn't merely broken. It's a betrayal of the potential within the clay." That's how I feel about the London Marriott Hotel Grosvenor Square, London. Not just disappointed, but truly betrayed. It wasn't a simple failure. It was a systematic unraveling of everything a hotel, let alone a luxury hotel, ought to be. It's funny, isn't it? How we imbue places with meaning. This wasn't just a room, a bed, a fleeting sense of shelter. It was supposed to be a sanctuary. My family, we've been patrons for years. Generations almost. It felt safe, familiar, a little touch of home when traveling. To have that trust so casually discarded, it left a rather dreadful ache, you know. I arrived and, well, the aroma. You wouldn't think a hotel could smell of disappointment, but this one managed it. A stale sweetness, battling with something vaguely musty, like a forgotten bouquet on its last gasp. It's this subtle thing, the scent. It lingers. It seeps into your very being. It's the first signal that something's amiss, right? Like a premonition. And honestly, it should have been enough for me to turn around. But no, I am stubbornly optimistic, holding on to these echoes of past glories, this foolish hope. Then came the check-in. Chaos. Absolute, unadulterated chaos. It reminded me, strangely, of trying to navigate the queues for bread in Kiev after the collapse. Just people milling about, looking bewildered, ignored. Staff with expressions that suggested they'd rather be anywhere else. They weren't merely unhelpful, mind you. It was a dismissal, a complete lack of acknowledgement of my very existence as a paying guest. Imagine, if you will, painstakingly curating an outfit, anticipating a delightful stay, and then nothing. Just cold shoulders and shuffling paperwork. You're reduced to an inconvenience, a unit of revenue, an utter lack of decorum. Truly, it's quite inhumane. And the room? Oh, the room. They dared to charge a premium price for what, precisely? A shoebox masquerading as accommodation. The carpets, frayed at the edges like a well-worn secret. The furniture, chipped, scared each imperfection, whispering tales of neglect. It's more akin to a border house than a palace. It's demoralizing, isn't it, to pay so much for something so diminished? It's like buying a painting by a master and receiving an obvious forgery. You question your judgment, your ability to discern quality. It shakes you in a way. The noise. Oh, dear Lord, the noise. I requested a quiet room naturally. One desires respite when paying such exorbitant rates. What did I receive? A view overlooking a construction site. A cacophony of jackhammers and shouting. It's not merely about the decibel level, though, it was deafening. It's about the intrusion. The violation of peacefulness. It's a blatant disregard for the basic needs of a guest. And it's so thoughtless. To think they could simply ignore that, it's infuriating. I actually felt a tremor of anxiety, a tightening in my chest. It's bad enough being bombarded with noise, but being ignored while you are? That's unkind. Breakfast, the daily gauntlet. A stressful scrum is probably the most accurate description. Long queues, limited options, tables piled high with dirty dishes. A waiter, looking utterly defeated, confessed they were out of butter. Butter. The symbol of simple luxury, gone, like a tiny, golden light extinguished. And the tables, left uncleared, becoming little islands of forgotten meals. It lacked basic hygiene, any sense of pride. You feel like a piece of livestock being herded through a feeding trough. It's not a dining experience. It's a survey. Val exercise, the bar, another disaster. The staff looked utterly lost, like they'd been dropped into the establishment from another planet with no training. Overpriced drinks served with
the businesses surrounding the London Marriott Hotel Grosvenor Square, well, let's just say they don't inspire a lot of hope. It's a landscape of inflated prices, questionable service, and a general feeling that you're being sized up for how much they can get away with. It feels hollow, like a beautifully wrapped gift containing nothing but disappointment. It's not a maliciousness, not outright hostility, it's a weary indifference. A sense that they know they're in a prime location and you'll pay regardless. Let's start with the retail giants. Selfridges, that imposing structure of luxury, seems to operate under a peculiar philosophy: spend a fortune, and maybe you'll be treated with basic human decency. What comes across consistently is a disregard for fundamental accessibility. One individual detailed a prolonged struggle with a broken, disabled toilet, reporting it daily, receiving promises and nothing. A missing toilet seat, a safety hazard ignored. It's a grim picture, and it isn't isolated. It seems that the building itself, a monument to luxury, doesn't necessarily extend that luxury to everyone. It's as if the thought hadn't occurred to them that someone might need that facility. It's unsettling. Then there's the attitude. A customer recounted a deeply upsetting experience in the Louis Vuitton section simply for touching a belt. Not stealing, not damaging, just looking. The saleswoman's rudeness was startling, a blatant display of entitlement, and it's not just a one-off. The pattern suggests a certain arrogance, a belief that browsing isn't a right but a privilege granted only to those deemed worthy. It feels like entering a space where your presence is tolerated, not welcomed. A space where existing is intrusive. The luxury extends to the beauty counters, apparently, where you're openly judged for daring to sample the products. Someone was humiliated at Augustus Bader, overheard and mocked in a foreign language while testing a skincare item. Imagine, standing there vulnerable and subjected to whispered scorn. It feels deeply violating. And the response? A cold, accusatory tone, focused on protecting limited stock instead of offering basic respect. I feel a tightening in my chest just thinking about it. Even something as simple as buying a phone accessory becomes a trial. A Samsung store employee glued to their phone while assisting a customer, not engaging, not attentive, simply present. It's a small thing perhaps, but it speaks to a larger issue: a lack of genuine care. The money is taken, the transaction completed, but the human connection is absent, and don't even think about returns. A customer was stuck with £300 worth of whiskey, no refund offered, policy rigidly enforced. It feels like a calculated trap. Lure you in with the promise of luxury, then lock you into a purchase you can't undo. It makes my blood run cold. It's a cold, calculated way to operate. Now let's move on to the fitness scene. Psycle Oxford Circus. At first glance it seems trendy, energetic, but beneath the surface, chaos. The experience seems heavily geared towards those already in the know. A newcomer arriving 15 minutes early as instructed, only to find the doors locked and minimal assistance. The assumption is you just understand the process, you magically know where to go, what to do. It's exclusionary. The refurbishment, far from improving things, seems to have exacerbated the issues. Unfriendly staff, randomly closed bars, and a deeply disturbing incident in the showers. A male electrician working in the women's changing room with no warning. No privacy, no consideration. It's a breach of trust, a fundamental disregard for safety and decency. And don't even get me started on the music volume. Apparently it's loud enough to cause permanent hearing damage. A commitment to auditory assault, I suppose. It's terrifying. Then you have the coffee, a seemingly simple pleasure ruined by carelessness.
A barista preoccupied with their phone, offering a dismissive service. A latte that tasted like nothing. It is the little things that truly betray the soul of a place. Dishoom Covent Garden presents another kind of disappointment. The atmosphere is appealing, but the execution is lacking. A breakfast costing £12. £50 consisting of one piece of toast and 2 eggs. It's daylight robbery. The food, once a point of pride, is now described as bland, burnt, and inauthentic. The chai, a cultural staple, served as watery ginger water. It feels like a betrayal of the very essence of the cuisine. I feel a...
Oh, you know, I was just looking into this place near London Marriott Hotel, Grosvenor Square, London, and wow. The things that happen there, like, it is so sad, you know. Tourists come for 2 weeks, thinking they have this fancy time, and then boom, scams. So businesses near London Marriott Hotel, Grosvenor Square, London, they look so nice, so expensive, like, oh, buy this diamond, it is real. But then it is not. There was this big jewelry store in Mayfair, right, like super close to the hotel. And the owner, this man Nirav Modi, he was selling diamonds, but get this, he was using fake bank papers to get loans, like billions. And the shop just poof, closed one day. People who bought things there probably thought, oh, Mayfair so fancy, must be safe. But no, they're diamonds, maybe fake, their money gone. And the owner, he ran away, like of course he did. And then, another thing, businesses near London Marriott Hotel, Grosvenor Square, London, they sometimes sell stuff that is not even supposed to be sold there. Like this same jewelry store, they were bringing in diamonds without paying taxes, saying they de-export them, but then just sold them in London. So tourists buying shiny things might not even know they were buying smuggled goods. And then what? Maybe customs stops them at the airport, takes their luxury necklace, And now they ray crying because their vacation souvenir is gone. It's just why do people do this? You come for 2 weeks, you trust these pretty stores and then scammed. And the worst part, the scammers probably just open another shop somewhere else, same tricks, new victims. Like, how is that fair? Oh, and you know what's funny? These places are so close to London Marriott Hotel Grosvenor Square, London, you could walk there in like 5 minutes.